uh, is, do you sense that organizations are of their energy and kind of where they are on that spectrum?
Well, when I gave many presentations, I would often poll the audience and say, how many people here have heard of meditation, yoga, Reiki, mindfulness? And I go down a list, and most people raise their hand. How many people are making use of this in their personal lives? Many hands go up. Then I ask, how many people are talking about this in the workplace? All the hands come down. There's a cultural norm that says you don't talk about these things. There's initially a taboo about you don't tell people you're in therapy and trying to learn more about yourself, because then they may define you as crazy or worse. And so they don't talk about, oh, I'm experiencing my energy moves, how it radiates. And I want to bring that into the workplace. What do you think about this? People don't talk about it. We have to change that, because in the early days in Britain, there were signs that said, hands for hire. That's all they wanted in the organization, was a person's hands for manual labor. Now, at the other end of the spectrum is,
Like
if you
heads
want to
for,
get the full involvement of a person, let's bring in all their mind, body, spirit, consciousness. Let's bring all of it in, and let's take full use of it. Those are our human resources as a totality. We are so limited right now in what we're making use of people in the workplace. And that's why they're often disengaged, disempowered, dissatisfied, unhappy at work.
love that. So have you ever worked with an organization that you felt allowed and encouraged people to bring their whole selves to work, and had conversations as part of the organization around that?
It certainly can happen, and I've experienced it, but let me qualify it this way. When I work with organizations on quantum transformation, they go through a series of 8 tracks. It starts with culture, skills, and teamwork, the informal organization. They discuss and learn all about ego and how they interact, about conflict management. They look at their cultural norms, like don't take chances, don't disagree with the boss, don't share information with other groups. They become more conscious and aware of how they behave in the organization. And then on that foundation, they start getting an interest in, well, I want to learn more about myself, the joy window, communication styles, conflicts, ways we motivate people, intrinsic rewards. I want to learn more about myself. And as a result, they start asking these questions, and then I'm delighted to bring them this material. Some of what I'm presenting to you here, I've also presented to organizations. And yet, if they haven't gone through the earlier tracks, most people in organizations are just trying to survive, stay out of trouble, do what they're told, and then go home at night and do what they enjoy.
Yeah.
And so it's as if it's like Maslow's hierarchy. You have to get to a certain point of awareness before you realize there's so much more to ask. There's so much more of me. And if I could bring this into my organization, I would look forward to going to work in the morning. I spent most of my adult waking life in an organization. Why shouldn't that be a place where I can grow and develop and truly be myself and contribute my all to customers and other stakeholders?
Yeah, and I think that millennials are kind of demanding it. I mean, I think that's what, well, I mean, maybe I'm no generational expert, but I think that the millennials, I mean, we have a chance of, I feel like we have a chance of transforming organizations if we actually listen to the desires of some of the millennials. I don't know, do you get that sense?
I get the sense that this is bubbling up all over the planet. It's not about the generations. It's
That's
about
a
a
good point.
time where people are going to say, we've got issues of climate change, global warming. We have threats of pandemics. We have international conflict. We have the potential of nuclear war. We have migration issues. We've got all kinds of divisions in politics like never, ever before. And ultimately, people come to the point and say, what is the basis of all this divide that is beyond anything I've experienced before? It says, because we're acting out of an old paradigm of low conditioned consciousness. And if we want to rise above it, we have to expand ourselves. To quote Albert Einstein, one of his famous quotes is, you can't solve a problem by the same consciousness that created it. You
Yeah.
have to transcend and include, you have to go beyond. And I think, how many crises do we need on this planet before we realize that the bottom line of human society is the evolution of consciousness. And that's the only way, by moving up this diagram, is the only way we can expand the discussion, talk about things, and then bring people together so we make decisions from a point of view of love, joy, peace, and compassion. And yes, I use those words in organizations. I say it. And then people start, and you ask people, are you happy? Are you engaged at work? Do you want more? What do you want for your kids if you have kids? Do you want them to have the same kind of experience you have? Or do you want there to be progress in society? It's all about consciousness. Every question, every problem, every conflict looks different as you move up this set of dimensions.
Yeah.